welcome back to my channel. This is Sonia with Sonia Spires channel. Today I'm gonna do kind of another Let's Chat. This is gonna be about Nico Robin, which is a character from One Piece that most of what this Let's Chat's gonna be, and I think I'm gonna make it kind of into a series because I have a couple of different female characters I kind of want to look at when it comes to how men write women. There's been, I think it's more in the horror sphere, which, I mean, what I remember of watching like horror films like Nightmare on Elm Street, even The Shining, Carrie. You can argue with me about Carrie. I haven't finished the book. I only read half of it. But I still had issues with it. I would even say like Saw movies, like Halloween, stuff like that. There is a lot of talk about how men write women and how well they do versus how well they don't do. And a lot, what kind of brought this up is I've been reading Wheel of Time, and to me, Robert Jordan, I mean, obviously, when you're talking about Wheel of Time, you're talking about the 90s, 2000s time frame. So when it comes to what he thinks, you know, what a powerful woman is and stuff like that, is a lot different than what we have today. Oda started writing, I believe, One Piece in like the 90s, I believe. It's been around for a while. But a lot of complaints actually come down to George R. R. Martin too, which I'm going to talk about some of those characters, some of those women characters that I actually think are really written very, very well. And another aspect that usually comes up in discussion in a lot of anime atmospheres is the way women are written when it comes to manga and anime. I feel like even though I love manga and anime, I watch a lot of it. I'm in like a fairy tale phase right now. I've been watching a lot of fairy tale, but they definitely have like the damsel in distress trope where you'll have a woman that's written just to be kind of like that damsel in distress. Oda kind of flips that over, and I'm going to kind of explain it. And when it comes to spoilers, I'm only going to go up to Enies Lobby. Water 7 in it, that time frame. So I'm not going to get anything post time skip when it comes to Nico Robin, because the point of this doesn't really need to go surpass that. So if you're worried about spoilers, that's kind of what I might be spoiling in this video when it comes to my discussion about Nico Robin. I mean, there's obviously a lot more to talk about when it comes to post time skip, but just to kind of get my point across, I think I can stop at Water 7 and Enies Lobby, which are two of my favorite arcs in One Piece. But he kind of, with Robin, does this damsel in distress trope. Luffy does have to save Robin a couple times through through the story. He does save Robin a couple times, but it's done in a way where Robin is not a damsel in distress trope. She's just somebody that needs assistance and somebody that's had like a really hard time and is really down on herself. So it's different than like I would hate to say like Sakura in the beginning of Naruto, Lucy until she kind of gets into her powers. That's the fairy tale. Orihime in Bleach, she's definitely a damsel in distress character, but there's a few more. But we're gonna talk about Nico Robin and how I think Oda does a really good job writing her. I do want to do another video about Nami, and there's probably gonna be other ones because I think Oda is a prime example of a male that happens to write females really well. So, a couple aspects of Robin that I really do like. I love her dark sense of humor. Like, they're in a dark situation, she just makes it worse. It's like she scares the three, kind of cowards of the group, making it worse. And I think she's like one of the most hilarious characters. And she's a lot older. She's one of the older Straw Hats. I think she's in her 30s, if I remember right. And yeah, she's just the mother figure of the crew, but still lets Luffy just do exactly what Luffy's gonna do. Like, I don't always agree with you, but I'm gonna let you do, and I'm gonna just be right behind you. But couple of she's just so intelligent. She's the only one that can read the poneglyphs, so that obviously puts her in a lot of danger when it comes to the world government, because she can expose the world government at any time. If once she reads all the poneglyphs and gets the whole story, she can just say, this is the 100-year gap. This is what happened. And she's like one of the only few people that can do that. And a lot of it is based off of what happened in Ohara, which we will get to in a minute. But I think with also her level of intelligence, she can really play with people. Like, how we get to know her at first is in the Alabasta arc. She is part of Crocodile's crew, and she is like his one-hand man because he needs her to read the poneglyph in Alabasta. She does, but lies to him. Like, you can totally tell he figures it out pretty quickly that she completely lied to him what was on the poneglyph. I don't remember if we actually get to know what is on that poneglyph. I think it's told to us later. But this is the first situation where Luffy saves Robin, and it's after he takes down Crocodile, the building's coming down, he saves Robin, and she doesn't want to be saved. She definitely has a death wish. Obviously, at this point, we really don't know too much about her. Luffy's like, I'm going to save you just because I don't think you're as evil as you come off to be. Like, I think Luffy kind of sees through her that she's not who she seems to be. Like, she's with Crocodile pretty much for her own safety. Because if, she obviously line yourself up with the most powerful person to pretty much protect you. Because obviously Crocodile wants the information because it's for like this ultimate weapon. So he's not going to let anything happen to her. He's going to protect her from the world government. He's a warlord at this time. So the government's really not going to touch her with her being on side of Crocodile because he is a warlord. So a lot of what her whole life has been is, who do I have to line myself up with to survive? And this is like a major character arc, especially when we get further down the line, that I think Oda does a really good job with, because you can tell like she's not with what Crocodile's doing. She's just, I want to read the poneglyph. Like, I know where you're going, and I know there's a poneglyph there. So I'm going to join you to get that information, but I'm not going to help you at the same time. And then she just the Straw Hats happen to come to Alabasta and defeat Crocodile, and then she's like, well, these people are better than Crocodile, so I'm just going to try to hitch a ride with them. It's pretty much how she joins the crew. And then Luffy and like, okay, sure, why not? You're here, why not? Like, and then you have Skypiea, which does not really have too much when it comes to Robin's like character development, minus that she starts, there's a trust that starts building up between the crew when it comes to Robin, because at first Zoro is not for Robin, would like to throw her, you know, off the boat in some ways, because, you know, she was part of, you know, Crocodile's crew. Why would we have somebody like that? And I don't know if Luby's kind of, I'm not sure if he actually knew like how smart Robin really was, um, and how important the poneglyphs are at this point. Like, he's just like, this seems like a decent person. Like, she seems like, and you know, I think he's getting like an intelligent vibe off of her. I don't think he gets her full importance, but he's like, well, this person could be useful. I want her on my crew. I need this many people. And I think slowly the crew just like really falls in love with Robin. I mean, Sanji lusts after her like 2 seconds after she, you know, joins the crew, but that's just Sanji being Sanji. But her importance kind of is really, really slow. So, like, in Skypiea, like, obviously they're protecting her, but I don't think there's a full trust until we get to the Water 7 arc. So, the Water 7 arc is very important to Robin's whole character development. This is when we had the famous scene of she yells, like, I don't want to die. There's actually a few characters that go through major character development. Robin's the most. She doesn't want to die. That scene. We get her backstory. We get the understanding of why the world government wants her, all in Water 7. So how this all starts is she's from an island called O'Hara, which was a very archaeologist-driven country, island, and is pretty much their main goal is just to learn things. And unfortunately, after going after the poneglyphs, which is what her mother started doing, it put the whole island in danger. And it's not just her mother. The whole island was trying to figure out what happened during the 100-year gap. So this put the island in danger. They got a buster call. Her island gets destroyed. She is the only one that survives, because of one of the generals deciding, you know what, she's still a little girl. Like, I'm not going to have this one little girl suffer, you know, and be destroyed, and he saves her. Obviously that puts a target on her back because she actually knows how to read the poneglyphs, and she actually got that knowledge, and she knows some of what happened during that time. So this puts her in a very dangerous situation where she's always going to have a target on her back when it comes to the world government, because she can easily just be like, hey, this is what happened during the 100-year, you know, blank history. This is what we need to watch out for. Now, if you're caught up with One Piece, we got a lot more information from another character, but this is kind of where we're at with Robin at this point. So when we get to Water 7, there is a group called CP9, I believe is what they were called back then. And they are disguised as regular workers for Iceberg. Iceberg is why they end up on Water 7 is the Going Merry is in really rough shape. They need somebody to fix their ship. They take it to Water 7, and because they got all this money from Skypiea, They come, they try to get fixed, they find out they can't get it fixed. And then this is where they make Frankie. But in the meantime, somebody's trying to kill Iceberg. They think it's the Straw Hats. It's actually not. It's actually like CP9 starting their shenanigans. Robin, to kind of get herself protected again, lines herself up with them on their pursuit to kill Iceberg. So the Straw Hats think that she's pretty much abandoning them. And Sanji follows her, finds out that's not the case. She's getting kidnapped. Now they have to go to Enies Lobby to save her. Now, obviously, Robin's really smart. I don't think she would have lined herself up with CP9 if she thought this was a kidnap situation. I think she thought, well, if I line myself up with you, then I'll be fine. But with whatever happened in her childhood, she still has PTSD from it. And you can tell that through the rest of the show, rest of the story, that she does have PTSD from Ohara. Like, how can you not? Like, you're watching your whole island get destroyed and everything. So I think between Alabasta and then Skypiea, Water 7, and then we get to Enies Lobby finally. And that one scene where she's like, I don't want to die. Luffy's like, you need to tell me that you don't. Because, you know, she's very extremely depressed by this point. You know, she doesn't think she has too many friends because she lost all her friends. Like, everybody she's been aligning with is just for her safety. And she finally finds this crew where, okay, now I can trust you. Like, I didn't trust you before. I thought, you know, you guys are still pirates. Like, why would I trust a group of pirates? And I think that's a similar notion that Nami gets a little bit earlier in the story. Is most of these characters have been done dirty by either the government or pirates, or both. And I think in some ways, like, as much as the government is after her, is as much as she's seen that there is some good in the government still. Because, you know, you had Saul in Ohara that helps her escape. The other general, Ice Guy, I cannot remember his name right now. Sorry, guys. Those two, like, help her get off. She gets to live, but she also saw the government kill her friends and her mother. So there is a lot of trust issues that she has to overcome when it comes to, yes, at the beginning, she's just joining the Straw Hats because she's like, well, you let me live, so I'm going to join you because you don't seem as bad as what I've had to experience. And then by the time we get through Enies Lobby, she gets saved. I think there's a lot of trust that's already built. And then, you know, there's just more and more trust. So by the time we're post-time skip, we don't see as many trust issues when it comes to, we don't see as many trust issues as when we first start with her. And she is extremely powerful. Like, her devil fruit, it is broken. Like, she can just have legs just pop out of nowhere, arms just pop out of nowhere. I don't want to know how many people that she's killed with that one, where she puts them in a chokehold. Like, you know, she's killed some people. But she's extremely powerful. But another thing I really do like about her, because she is kind of like, if I had to put her in, like, a trope, she is the intelligent one. Like, she's the book smart one, that knows a lot about the world and everything. But she doesn't act like it. She's just like, hey, this is what I found out, Luffy. Take it or leave it. And I think she respects that Luffy doesn't want to know. Like, at the same time, I don't think, because of the fact, what happens, there's a scene that somebody's about to tell Luffy, like, hey, this is what the One Piece is, this is where to find it, like, all this stuff. And Luffy's like, no, I don't want to know. And I think Robin does respect that in a very big way. And I think she probably knows more than what she's saying. Because she has hinted that she knows what the Will of D is. And I would not be surprised if she didn't know some of the stuff that we learn in Egghead and stuff like that. But when it comes to her character development, she ends up being a very strong ally to the Straw Hats. It's somebody that they definitely really needed. Somebody that has grown so much between her 3 arcs that are a really big deal to her. Like I said, like, I'm not saying, like, she doesn't get more character development, but we have not really had an arc recently that's focused on any of the Straw Hats when it comes to post-time skip, minus Sanji. So, there's not much more to say and that I don't need to spoil when it comes to those arcs. And I understand, like, people are still trying to catch up and everything. That's why I'm like, we'll just stop at Water 7 when it comes to the grand details. But Oda gets, like, the torture this woman has gone through. Like, so he understands, like, obviously you're gonna have trust issues. You're gonna have, you're gonna be kind of, depressed, like, severely depressed, because, I think she was, like, 8. Like, she was really, really young when that happened. So, like, think about, like, this little 8-year-old girl. She's been really comfortable. She just got her archaeologist. She's now a doctor and archaeologist. She's like she's having, like, the best day of her life, and then her island gets destroyed. So it's like this big huge shock to her system, because it's like, well, everything's going so good in my life, and then the government's, like, taking it all. And obviously she doesn't know, like, what happens to the books or anything. She thinks that the whole island was destroyed with everything. So she's just this little girl that gets pushed on a boat and is told, you need to go. And, you're gonna find a group of people that care for you as much as these people did. It just might take a really, really long time. And I think when she meets Luffy in Alabasta, and Luffy's like, no, I'm gonna save you just because I don't see that you're as bad of a human being as what you're trying to portray. Okay, like, so I think she had to go through all that, and then once we get over that heap, then we really see the true self, which she's very gentle, she's very kind. I love her relationship with Chopper. And Jinbei later on, we get to see some scenes with him and her. But she really fits in with the crew as somebody that she doesn't talk very much either. Like, she doesn't have too much to say. She pretty much lets, Luffy to be in the spotlight. and Zoro and Sanji, but when those three need her, she's right there. Um, if you've seen Wano, you kind of understand why, but yeah, she's a full-on, very deep character. Um, and I think she's probably one of the most powerful, like, women that might be, like, in One Piece in some ways because of her intelligence, but too, like, her devil fruit, like, she can turn into, like, a full demon, you know. A little bit of a spoiler there, but, like, there's a reason why she's called the demon child, um, and she got her devil fruit so young, too. Like, she's had that since she was a really little, too. So, like, all the, you know, all the stuff that she's had to go through. And it's not the same, like, Luffy got his devil fruit really young, too. But I think he had a better support system than she did when it comes to, you know, their understanding of devil fruits. But yeah, she used to spy in the library and stuff, and I love her. She's such a good character, and I think Oda really writes women really well. I think the next video the next character I want to talk about in this little series is gonna be probably Nami. Nami's kind of a whole different character when it comes to how Oda writes her, but Robin and Nami are kind of similar, kind of different. I think they're similar in ways that, you know, they had to align themselves with pretty bad people just to survive. So that's gonna be something that we're gonna explore with Nami. And then she's a cat burglar, and I think her level of intelligence is definitely different than Robin's, but she's really good with weather and maps, so I think she'll be kind of a fun character to kind of explore and talk about. I want to get into some Game of Thrones stuff now. I haven't watched Game of Thrones for a really long time, so those videos might take a while because I want to kind of really know, like, the deeps of more of the book side of these women than the show, because Cersei's kind of written really differently, but otherwise this is going to be an ongoing series on my channel. I just want to talk about some women that are written by men that are done really well. Maybe we'll take I'll take probably the other route too and talk about some women that are not well written by men. But I just, I don't think all men don't not know how to write women. I think some men really do. And some women probably don't know how to write men very well. It does go both ways, but I think Robin is a good example of a woman that's written really well. So, if you like this video, I know this was a long one, like and subscribe. I'm hoping to be back real soon with maybe a book review. I have been really busy at work. I'm hoping to hopefully start slowing down in August, September. So hopefully we'll get some more of the book review part of my channel. But in the meantime, there might be a little bit more of character analysis videos. And I know a lot of people liked my big 3 ones, so we'll try to see what we can do in between these book reviews to have some fun. But otherwise, you guys have a lovely rest of your day, and I will hopefully catch you guys real soon.